two. One of the two. I don't remember which one.
All right, we're going to take a look at a little bit of pitching. Go ahead and start with that. Okay. Back this up a little bit. So if you look, the hand plane that I drew is right from the bat. You saw it was right at the shaft, like you guys have seen, and so forth. But they're just going to take it from here. If you look as he goes up, stays right on that. That's his normal takeaway in his golf swing. Yep.
Scott's supposed to be in here? He's looking.
Oh yeah, Scott is.
He's looking around.
Yeah. What's up, Scott?
You lost Scott, though?
Yeah, I didn't know you were. I didn't know you were. All right, so you see he stays on the hand plane. This is his normal takeaway in his golf swing, and so forth. And when you go up, when you go get more frame, he starts to set that club. And he sets the sweet spot right on top of the second plane right here. But pretty much as good as it gets. Right arm's a little straighter than what I like it, and it can be softer in the elbows. But as far as just right on the money, that's it. And all these guys are going to be really, really, really close to that. And you watch them pitch the ball, like we were working on the other day. What we would see the other day, I'll just go ahead and go through it. And you see he keeps the club in front of him a lot more than what you guys were doing. What you see the other day is the club would work. You see the hands would work over here on the takeaway. So you would take the club and it would go out like this. And then a lot of times you'd wave the hand where you'd stay in the head this way, 1 to 2. But you, like Matt, for example, went out and then laid the club head back, which is better than tipping it this way, that's for sure. So you kind of laid it flat with the club head, but the hands were out. You were getting the club a little bit more out, in with the hands and a little out with the club. So different way. You can hit it higher if you do this. Neither one of them are really right, what we're going for. So if you lay it off like that, you have the ability to hit it high and low. Actually more versatility. When you get the club steep like that, the head end and the shaft steep, you can only hit it low. And if you try to hit it high, you're going to work underneath and blade it. So what we want to do is have it where you can hit all 3 shots at the same time. You can hit, or if you needed to, so you can get it low, mid, and high, just depending on what you want to do with your hands and the club face. So we'll take a look at this again. They're shooting this at probably around 300 frames per second, so it just takes a while. I'm shooting it frame by frame right now, just as I'm moving. Hard to stop it. I have to go to the small screen so I can frame by frame. Good, here you go. Right on the button. Hands are in like we've been talking about all week in the golf swing. Sweet spot gets on plane on the secondary part. Alright. So it's not when you look at all these that they're all going to be identical when you see this. It's just they're going to be really close, you know. There might be space this much either way. You just won't have a foot either way with the hand plane or the shaft or the club head. Alright, let's go off of this.
So his hand setting up on the first plane and his club face setting up on the second one?
Yeah, just when you hand it, it's just, you know what I mean, it's a natural hand. So when he goes in here and he turns and sets it a little bit, when he goes to set, the club head moves off of this first plane and sets on the second. He's not thinking about it, he just does it. Just from the wrist tension. See what you worked on yesterday, actually. Same exact thing.
Okay.
Good round yesterday, by the way.
Yeah. 38.
Let's see, it would be. This is Graham McDowell. Try to get where you can see the screen a little bit better. A lot of these I'm not sure exactly what shots they're hitting, but it ought to be relatively close. guys still see this okay? It's hard to see his shaft because he's on it. Shaft's on the line the whole time. So you see, it's exactly the same thing. Now, who in this room thinks Greg McDowell and Hunter Mangham's swing even close to being the same? Their swing isn't even remotely close to being the same in their golf swing, but when they pitch, identical. Okay? Now, the one thing if you notice here with McDowell, I'm going to blow it up because this is huge. Hunter Mangham is, don't get me wrong, he's better than any pitcher in this room, me included anybody, but he's not the best on the tour. And he has his right arm a little too straight. I want to show you that here in a little bit. If you look at McDowell's elbow here, you see there's more flex to that. You're going to see that with great pitchers, what we worked on yesterday. Not so much here. You don't go for width. You soften out the elbows, and the elbows will swing around the spine, right, naturally, instead of being stiff. And that's why McDowell is one of the best pitchers on the PGA Tour. Best wedge players. He's phenomenal. So we'll see if we can work his club down here. So he's right on the plane, same exact move. These two players are pretty much dead opposite in their swing. Hunter Mangham's more down the line with his golf swing. Greg McDowell's got the club pointed and 2 fairways over to the left. Both of them hit it great. Coming down, working it right on in there. Hitting it off the toe. Anybody know why he's hitting it off the toe? Now this is why I want everybody to see. Because everybody, before we even talk about the toe, you see where the club head is here? Most people, if you asked every teacher in America and they didn't know what impact, they just saw them swing through the shot, they would bet $1 million that club head was more left than what that is. That's still an in to out club head. So he hits it, he goes right on plane, he hits it, and he's about 2 degrees in to out. But he's hitting a cut shot top pitch, a lot of spin, a lot of backspin. And so that's when a lot of you guys are doing this, you're pulling a lot of pitches. So you'll hit it, you'll pull the arms in, and the ball goes dead left. What you don't see is with pros, they hit it right here, and then they work their arms in after they've struck it, and that's one of the big things. So if you're pulling your pitches, obviously stick with playing first, but if you keep doing it, you're somewhat in the ballpark. You're swinging, you're doing what every high school and college player does. They wipe it too much with your arms, okay? Too early before you get the ball. Now, if you watch your arms go here, you can see that club. Now you should be able to really see the club head. Very much in and out. That's kind of mind-boggling to most people when they see that. And when you're watching, and you see like his finish, he's hitting a nice soft pitch. This is one of the things I like to see everybody start doing. Everybody's follow through. We talked about this the other day. There's the end of his follow through right there. You see how far the flag's back. He's hitting it. That's a 20 yard. He's hitting it 15 to 20 yards right there. He's just going right there, and that's it. You watch Mickelson hit, boom. Tiger, it's the same thing. They strike and they hold it, keep the club over here. Only unless you're trying to really hit it and then really put some spin on it, crazy spin. You really shouldn't go much further than that. That's, it's only, that'd be hard pressed for anybody in the room to do that right now, to be able to just hit it and stop, keep the face underneath like that. So, but everybody should do it, okay? And one of the things I was talking to the coach about last night is it's a good habit. We'll do this as a team. We'll maybe find a Sunday it works for everybody. But watch it. We need to watch the PGA Tour players. Watch them play. I've recommended that to my students my whole life teaching golf is telling them, you don't go look at 10 handicappers, your club champions, and start building your golf swing off that. You build your golf swing and your chipping, your putting off PGA Tour players because that's who does it for a living. Okay, they're the best in the world. If you're watching a quarterback, you wouldn't go not look at Tom Brady on Sunday and try to make the mechanics like that. Instead of going down here a local hospital guy that throws 15 yards sideways, it's the local quarterback. That's not what you would do. It's just common sense. You watch the best players in the world, and you do your best to you got to be yourself, but you better do a lot of things that they do. And you'll see a lot of tendencies that they all have in certain categories. Like best wedge players, every wedge player will hit their shots and their arms will be just like that. But then you'll see somebody that'll break through and you'll say, oh, no, Bo Watson didn't do that. Well, Bo Watson's like 100th on the tour in wedge play. So you got to make sure what you're looking at when you start to go, if you look at it, you start to go, well, he doesn't do it or she doesn't do it or whatever. Well, how good are they? Because if they're not in the top 10 or 15 in their category, pitching or full swing striking or whatever, cutting that we're working on, we're not having a conversation about it. I don't want the 100th player on the tour. I want the best one that they all do the same thing over and over and over. So when you look at this, you'll see that happens. So this correlation. All right. Let's see here. See another, this is another good one. If you notice, all these guys are really, really open with their stance. I mean, he's hitting, there's a stance line right there. Roy McElroy. So he's trying to put a little bit of extra spin on it. We're going to look at this. So it takes the handle. That's the one. This is the Australian wedge shot. If you guys remember, watch this handle. Just the handle. You can see it just hinges. It doesn't really move. So it doesn't move away. It just kind of hinges, right? And so it sets the club just a hair outside. But watch what he does. We're not done yet. He knows where that plane's at. He knows where that plane's at. So he just sets it. Now he, watch him redirect. If you look at the green here, which you guys can't see, if you see my laptop, you'll see the green slopes left to right. Goes like this. So he's probably playing this about, his intended target's probably about right there. Here comes that sweet spot, going to get on the plane right before he hits it. Boom. Dead on plane, shaft on plane. Okay? Another one right inside that box. Then watch after he hits it. He's still putting a lot of spin. Here's that club face. Staying on the other side. This is where you get it. Again, if you watch him on TV, all you see him do is hit it, and his arms will go over here to the left. Which I think he does that. I think he follows through more. But you see, like, you see the handle here, and you think, man, look how far he swung left. But you didn't realize he hit. Again, when he go out, hit out, then the handle comes into the left to get a spin. So look at Phil Mickelson. Now, Phil's hitting more of a traditional, I don't know what shot he's hitting here, but it's not a pitch shot. He's going more to a wedge shot. This will still be a good one to look at here. Is that on point? How good is that? Now again, Phil Mickelson, if you watch him, they talk about how he's so far off playing and all this. When he hits wedge shots, that's not much. Now he gets, when he takes his driver, he'll switch and change. The plane changes when you get to a certain length. It tilts, so it goes here, and then when you go longer, it actually, that's why you see everybody cross the line, like Bubba Watson and every long hitter in the game, when they go long, they'll go back, and usually they're right on the money 3/4 of the way, and then they just keep extending. The plane changes, it tilts that way. Okay? It doesn't stay here. He's within, even right there, the plane's starting to tilt and change. Now you kind of know why he's a good wedge player. I mean, you won't be able to even see his club because it's so on the line. And great iron player. Now here's when we talked about full swing. You see, this is that plane where I always talk about the hands underneath that line. When your hand, that high handle, Boone, and some of y'all, pretty much everybody has a little higher. Alex probably has the lowest handle. But that high handle is from extension, loss of lag, loss of posture, and a lot of other things. Okay. Where you see these high lead ball strikers, that handle drops down under that. Okay. And look through the shot. Now watch out, everything stays in that box. Everybody says he's a handsy player. I don't know if I buy that. His club head, if he was handsy, his club head wouldn't be in front of him right there. Handsy would be, how we worked on the 50-yard shot. I've got everybody keeping that club through impact correctly. Because when you watch the best ones in the world, that's what they do. You can see his club head. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's try to blow it up. Okay, now you can see the club head, right? If that was flippy, That club head would be over here. This is what I'd say everybody in this room does that to a certain degree. But that doesn't mean we're going to do that, that's for sure. And all you guys have got a lot better just in a short period. So his hand still hasn't turned yet. Still hasn't used his hands. He's still using his body. He still really hasn't used his hands. The club went up, that's just because he went like this. He just kept rotating, but he never really ever cocked the club again. You know, it's just as dead-handed as you can possibly get through the shot. And most of these I haven't seen yet. I've got a lot of these updates, all these wedge shots. I got them when I just moved over here, and this is the first time I've looked at them except for the other day when we looked at McElroy and some of those other ones. But I just have seen them a million times. I know what these guys do from a short distance. They don't have time to recover. Let's see, okay. Justin Rose. Oh, change on his camera. Okay, so the first line, set the hands stay right on the plane, sets the club head a little bit up. He's going to work it out, and then he weighs back to hit it higher. Okay, just like that. So he goes here, keeps it outside just a little bit. Hands are still on plane here. Club head's a little bit outside because he's hitting a cut pitch. And he hit just a little bit of release right there. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but one of the reasons why I wanted to pull up Rose is because how many people think in this room that he's a great wedge player? Okay. What about pitching? Not that good. He's a great wedge player. He's not a good pitcher of the ball. And you kind of can see a little bit of the. He's a great ball striker. He's probably one of the best ball strikers in the world right now. But his golf swing is closer to the plane than his pitching. That he goes too far in out or out the end. But again, it's not that much. It's better than anybody that I saw we looked at. I mean, he's only a few inches off right here, 4 inches. He gets the club eventually and the hands back on plane here. But there's just a little bit. And if you look here, there's too much blade rotation. Right there, the club shouldn't be that rotated. So I'm sure he's working. I'm sure if you look at him when he won the Open and so forth, it's probably better than this. But that's not really that good to consider to like a really high level, like you saw with Phil Mickelson. Phil Mickelson, I think everybody in the room would agree. He's, you know, when top 4 players play with you and they go, the only thing that they talk about Phil Mickelson on, it's not ball striking, it's wedge play. They just talk about it blows him away every time, you know. And when you see how on the plane he is, on the backswing and the downswing and impact and how he controls the face with no hands, it's easy to see why. Okay. Planes are pretty close. I'm going to change another little bit off. David Thomas. Very good pitcher of the ball. Great ball striker, too. All right, here we go. Right in the middle, that is absolutely perfect. You have the most options when you're in between both planes. And the reason why is because there's more blade rotation. So he can go low, high, flop. You know. Now Rose could have really gone low, high, flop too, and you may know why. In a steep plane, technically a steep plane, you shouldn't. But there's one other factor, that's club face. Club face, if you have a wide open club face, there's a couple imperatives you want to have when you pitch the ball. You want to always be open. Be open, because if you're square, you just eliminated. If you're closed, you're not playing in college golf. But if you're square, which some guys are, you're limiting yourself to a low shot and a mid shot because you can't be square right here with the loft and spin it enough from a square stance. And I see it a lot, way too square. I'd much rather see somebody way over here wide open. Because then, now again, I trap it more in my arms. I got all this space. I can trap it. I can go low. I can let it loose here a little bit, mid, and contain it. Or I can give it a little flop and little hands. Okay? So open is imperative right here with the stance and open with the face. Open with the face gives you more bounce. Any club builder that, you talk to Roger Cleveland, the first real lesson I had with understanding bounce. But I can tell you that the more bounce you have, the better it is. That's your best friend, basically, in wedge play, is bounce. Okay? There's a lot of players that don't want bounce. Phil Mixon plays with 14 degrees of bounce. Probably nobody in the room would guess that. Plays with a tremendous amount of bounce. Okay? You want bounce as your friend. When you don't have bounce, that's the one where you hit it from the fairway and your club head grabs the ground and won't come out of it. And you stub it. That's because your leading edge is too much. Bounce relieves that, right? Even if you play on hard conditions, it won't really matter because there's so much downward hit and speed. I don't care how hard it is. Even if you go to England and play, when you get that much angle and the sharpness of the plane and speed going downward, that club's going to go through the ground. I mean, there's not a club out on the market with the leading edge. The bounce is what makes it come out. Okay, when you get into a heel and you hit it and it sticks in the ground, that's you're hitting the leading edge. You're not getting any bounce to get that sole out. So right here, he's added. If he's playing a 56 with 12 degrees of bounce, he's got it up about 16 right now for the way to open the face. Okay, stays on the plane coming down. Club head again. Here we go. Boom, right on the line. Stays on the line, and then look at his fall through. That's it. He just hit a pitch shot 25 yards, and he went, not that, right? So, we'll do one more here, and then we'll move on. Wish we had a stricker on there for the first play. Classified as a chip shot. This is a long pitch shot, almost a wedge shot, but we'll look at it anyway. So we'll move on over, and we'll get it in full swing. We'll give you guys a break from that. Okay, so going back, Jim Furyk. If you look, the sweet spot's right on the plane. Here's that first line I was telling you guys about, what you're working on your takeaway. I think that's everybody's starting to get that now. Now from here, he sets, his hands are still on plane. He sets a little bit above the plane, but look what he's already doing. There you go. Then he comes right down between the gate. Look at the club face here. That's how you control the sweep. You guys can't see it, can you? Sorry. Let me get the... Can you guys see the club face from there? Yeah. Okay, it's just like that, like it should be. Whereas if you look at Rosie earlier, it was passing to rotating, and that's another thing that I see just about with every high school and college player is that there's too much blade. When they hit a pitch shot, they hit it and they pass in the blade as they move their arms like this, and you want that club face when you hit it to look like this in a pitch shot. It doesn't pass. So that's what's going to maintain spin, but also make good control of the ball too. You got any questions on any of this so far? I think it's pretty self-explanatory on what we're trying to do. The best way to pitch the ball is to get that club head. Like, if you watch Furyk do it here, it's a good example of kind of steep. It goes a little steep early, and then he gets that club head through the gate early. But every one of these has that blade open when they set it. Let me go back to where you can see it. So when you go back, it goes here. When he drops that plane back, that club face gets wide open. Okay? And then when he hits the hallway right here, it goes right in between. Let's see if you guys can see it from here. You can see that plug. It just fits right underneath, stable lower body, just tracks the plane right down the money. And he is a phenomenal pitcher of the ball, and obviously a wedge player too. There it is. Those lines never change, so you won't define however close you are to those lines. Will dictate how good you are in general. And then there's some other stuff that the video will never show you, which is softness of the arm, the tension, what we worked on a little bit yesterday, Alex, Boone, a little bit, some of those other things. Those are the things when you come in the film room, that'll be my job. But when you come in here, if you know these lines are like that, and you're out there on a Saturday and you guys are messing around, you're not pitching very well, get a V1 out, get a free one, and just have somebody get right behind you on a good camera angle, right behind you, and shoot it on a pitch shot. And make sure you start hitting those lines, because the faster you get to these lines with the blade open and work your club down and on them, the faster you're going to be able to do everything you want with a golf ball. You won't feel handcuffed. So, good example is with you, Alex, a good example is you kind of get the head in right here, and so when you have to start to compensate the body, work your legs more underneath, tilt, hang on, and so forth. Matt, you kind of go out and over like this a little bit, work you used to anyway, out like this right here. So that's going to create more of a break and impact because it's the club head so far out. There's going to be a disconnect. Okay, so if you can just work that club right up on the plane early, work it down line under. It just makes it more like a pendulum like this. It'd be more of an arc like that. That's pretty much how a pitch shot works. Here, and then it comes back this way. So, so no questions on that? Okay. Chipping would be, we'll just go right to it real quick, but, so chipping doesn't go off this first plane. So that's the shaft plane, right? There's no hinge. That's pitching right there. So that'd be on plane. So it just goes right there. Now, for him, he's not the best chipper in the world. Anybody know why? Big difference between pitching and chipping. He's not bad either. He's not the best. But does anybody? So his club head's too close. Right there. Club head's sitting down too low. He doesn't have time to recover. See, when he sets the club, when he goes into pitching, watch his blade's already starting to open up and work outward. So it's already opened up. It's opening, especially when he gets to the top of the swing. Now it's back to just like everybody else in the world, back to square. Same reason why Dustin Johnson was a horrible chipper of the golf ball and pitcher of the golf ball before he got to work with Butch Harmon, because his golf swing, as everybody knows, they know he shuts the face and bows the wrist. But he does that right at the end of his takeaway. And so when he's chipping and pitching, it's where it starts to do that. And so when he does that, the club gets hooded, and he can't, to hit a pitch shot, he has to go lay the face back and all this crazy stuff, and he's just no good at it. And now he is. This week in his grip, got the face more rotated, and made a different golf swing than he makes in his, or pitch shot swing than he makes in his golf swing. So, because it really is a different swing in general, but the way you work the handle and some of these other things, as you'll see, but the planes, for the most part, are relatively the same. So, all right. You guys want to break yet? Ready to keep going? All right, we'll go into full swing. Do a few of these full swings in here in a little bit. We'll, maybe 5 minutes. We'll take a break. I'm going to put my iPhone up and we'll look at everybody's swing and pitching and putting. So I think you guys have got the point on this now. Is this our third session in the video? Good video. Okay. All right. So, whoops. There we go. Okay. I've never seen this swing, so we'll look at it. A little bit, the camera angle is a little bit off here.
Who's that?
This is Hunter Mayhem.
Think of web Simpsons.
No, it's good. No, he does all of that. I've got his on here too. So here's the takeaway. Again, there you go. I think you guys can see that, right? I mean, that's painting it up, right? Got the hand in. So he goes to set it. That's pretty good, huh? Gets up at the top, he's going to get more depth. Shade laid off, then sets it. Still really, I mean, obviously it's really good. Got the butt of the club right over his back hip pocket over here, right?
Was that ball right on his front foot?
The ball position?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got it up there forward because he goes and chases it with his right shoulder. Oh yeah, because see, a lot of those guys will go get it with their upper body. So he hits the first plane here. Here's that baseline plane we talked about. So when I go back one frame, you guys remember that, right? So now the club's gonna his club head, because he's got it right on the baseline plane, is gonna go directly at the ball and not into out. Boom. Perfect. Sweet spot stays down on this. Check out the heel now. It's on the line. You guys see it? And there's a reason why he's always in the top 10 in ball striking every single year. Okay? And it's simple. So he hits those lines in his bodies. Look at this is some of the stuff we talked about with you guys in the marking, especially remember we talked here. Yeah. When you look at these top, you gotta look at when you look at the best ones in the world. That's why I go with this stuff, because he doesn't swing like Tiger. Tiger doesn't swing like Justin Rose, and Jason Duffner doesn't swing like anyone. Jim Furyk doesn't swing like any of them. Matt Kuchar doesn't, and they're all phenomenal ball strikers, you know. Okay, and they do a lot of these basics that I'm talking about. You remember what we talked about this line? We'll go back up. Let's see. We'll do it again here. Thank you. All right, let's do it this way. So you remember the hip line, the butt line we were talking about, one of the primary fundamentals we're looking for. So let's just watch it go back. This is really hard to do. Hammer didn't move. There you go. Here's that really crunch position we talked about, not with everybody in the room, but when you start to have that look, that handle is going to be down below this plane line, and that means you're smashing the ball. Now, Boone, remember we talked about that yesterday about wedge play when you started to lose compression? Yeah. That handle, when it's underneath that, and you see the sweet spot or the heel on that plane line, you're probably a pretty good player. Okay? Go on. Somebody else. Not a great camera angle, we'll look at it anyway. Again, when we do the camera angle, when I do it from, I would shoot it from right there. This is the cameraman shooting it from right here. Yeah, the line, which is not near as good.
Who's that?
Justin Rose.
Oh, it's not difficult to see.
Yeah, I'll try to blow it up here in a second. So there you go. You guys can see it probably, can you? Yeah. See it now? Yeah. Yeah, sorry. All right. So there you go. Sweet spot's already on. That's why I like that club tipped up. Now he tips it up. You know how I'm talking about, like you saw Hunter Mahan. He lays it just a little bit this way. I like that club tipped up, and that's why. When you tip it up a little bit, then you nail that plane. And all you have to do is your body's functioning right, you're doing kettlebells and understand the swing, you just turn your right shoulder. And that's why you'll see his club's more on plane at the top. One of the fundamentals that I talk about is I like to see the butt of the club. This club head right here is laid off compared to where he is now. This video is probably a few years old, but I can tell you, his butt of the club is right over this back pocket. It's deep. Okay? The club head more down the line than that, not laid off. Now, if you watch here, puts that thing right on the money early. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Usually, technically, and again, when they get it there early, and you're talking about them, when they get it there really early, and that's one of those fun. Like Phil Mickelson doesn't get there until really late. Is a good example, but he's not a top 10 ball striker in the world the last 15, 20 years. Top wedge player. So, but I like to see him get to that line early. He paints it up. Club's going to drop under and catch the baseline plane, which we talk about. Here's your baseline. That's just like hitting I mean, for him right now, the club's going 115 miles an hour plus or whatever it is, and it's just like he's hitting a chip shot. He's just like he's here and he's going doink. Whereas most players, real human beings, golfers who will make mistakes, they're hitting a pitch shot from either here or here. You know what I mean? Going 100 and something miles an hour. So they're either off the baseline plane here, or they're under here, or they're tilted here, or whatever it would be. So he's just sitting here going like this, doink, at whatever miles per hour that is. You don't have to swing very hard when you get it that much on the line. Club that you can see as he hits the ball, the hands are underneath that line. Heel stays on the sweet spot line. So all those characteristics of straight ball hitters, the guys that just strike it day after day after day. He won, in my opinion, I don't work with Justin Rose obviously, but in my opinion, he needs more depth in his shoulders. If you look at his shoulders a little bit high, I think that his right shoulder's up a little high. I think he could be a little bit more down this way. If I was saying, what would be better than that? Because I would still like the handle not to be up here. I would still want the handle actually lower, but the sweet spot on your plane. If you're being really technical about it. But I guarantee that ball is just laced right down the middle. So, free swing, huh? We'll check out his hips. This camera does it, maybe you gotta be careful that these are. You guys see that? There you go. We'll look at some face-on videos today. We haven't done that yet. But right now, I'd like to take a break unless you got any questions. So let's take a break. It's maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes to get out of the room a little bit. Yo.
I know, like,
I'll be right back.
let's go to
Yeah, you got time to run that over.
Yeah, if you need 10 minutes, take it. We got plenty of time today, unfortunately. Unfortunately. What's happening? So what's the question?
On a golf grip, you grip the club. My sister has this problem. She has a tail lock or overlap, and she has an original baseball grip. But she rolls her left hand way in, tries to roll it some way. She's got a really strong grip.
Right.
And she always, I don't know, she seems to, sometimes she'll hook it. Most of the time she'll hook it.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have
This hand's okay, but the back end.
But the back end needs to roll. Doesn't need to roll back to the left end.
It needs to be pretty much, you want to make sure when they go put the hand on top like this, that they don't put the elbow over the top like that. And it starts to see how the shoulder popped up and the elbow there. So they want to make sure that the shoulder stays in socket and they bring their hands up like this. So when they set up, this hand can be turned, right? But this is here without. When you start putting the right hand on, you see some funny stuff. You see this, you see that. They'll tilt your body to the grip. Instead of your body shouldn't change. When you grip the club, you see how my body never changes. So I can roll my hand this way, or I can roll my hand this way. But what you see with players when they do it is they'll go, strong grip, they'll do that. Weak grip, they do this. That makes sense. You have to make sure that when they move their hand position, wherever you're going with it, that this stays the same.
I had to go to McDonald's after.
What's that?
I had to go to McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
You did, huh?
I haven't eaten anything all day.
Are you starving right now?
Yeah.
Go ahead and take off. Come
That's
back.
fine.
Sure?
Yeah, I can wait.
All right. We're going to take it. We will. This stuff will wear you out, so I don't have to bore everybody to death with it. But Be better to be using it on the golf course right now.
I did get me one of those ab rollers.
Did you?
Yeah, it's
Great, yeah.
but it's not one of the little skinny ones like you got. It's a wide one. It's got a coil in it, and you push it out, it coils up.
Yeah, bring it up to practice so I can see it.
Okay.
You may work some of those.
I did it last night at about 60 to 120 minutes and then roll out.
60 of them?
Yeah.
They're tough, aren't they?
Yeah, I did 30 of them, and then my sister gave me half. I stopped for probably a couple minutes in between because I wasn't going to do anymore, and then I did like 15 more, and I did 30 all right for that. That wears you out. But
Yes, it will.
some cool stuff. And this one you can actually tilt a little to the sides. You can work the sides of your abs also.
It does?
You
Yeah,
can
you can
tilt
roll
it,
it,
you
right?
can tilt it,
Yeah,
yeah.
that other one we have, you can do that too.
You said V1 golf, right?
Yeah, V1 Golf, it's free. There's a free app on there. Don't do the Pro, and you don't need that one. It's good for everybody to have.
The
Don't get
V1
caught in your
one.
full swing,
Yeah.
too much, and you start trying to get crazy and all that. Just use it for pitching, especially pitching. That's what I would want everybody to do. I'll be taking care of your swing. I want you to not. It's not so much you're going to worry about the lines on the swing, but when you're pitching, I want you to be focused on where those lines are. Okay. Yeah.
You guys sharing again, huh?
Yeah.
You don't know where that's been, do you?
Obviously, this won't be as big. That picture, though, huh?
Yeah. Thanks because it's closer.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Boom.
Pretty nailed the 75-yard freaking post yesterday.
So Alex, you hit the 50, didn't you? You hit the 50-yard pole yesterday, didn't you? Wasn't that the last one you hit?
Yeah, all three. I think Slade and Boone. You hit the pole, did you? Or is it Boone and Alex?
I had been around. I never hit the pole, but I was pretty much dead on. I was dead on almost every shot I hit when I hit the 75 one.
Yeah, you hit pretty good.
At least it felt like it. Looked good. A lot better than that bit.
Nathan, you'd be better if you just changed hands.
Change what? If you just gave up golf, you'd be better? Alright, so we'll go over some of you guys' swings in here and faults and so forth, and then look and see where we're at. I think I've got a lot of before and afters and so forth. And look at some places. So, same lines, this is Boone. This is the first day that we train. So this is you. So the posture's off. I think I'm never going to draw a line with posture. It's more visual. So
That's the first day?
this is the first day. So hand anyway, work it under a little bit, work it around. Oh. That was a short shot. Let me see if we got one more. They still made it short. No, it was worth it. Back in. So you go way in, way under plane right here, as you can see that. I think you guys all understand that now. Gotta hit it a lot of fat from there. And when you did chunk that way, if you look here, you see the club pins in, hit it underneath. A lot of drop kicks from there. Club's weight is, club head's off plane, if you guys can see that. It's too far out. Because it went in and out. We'll find a room yesterday. You can see his posture's a lot better. It's pretty good right here. That club's standing up early. You guys see that, I'm sure. Setting it right up on the plane right there. That'd be hard to do in that room. Yeah, you guys can see it right. So then, club head now, we're in between those two lines we were talking about earlier. Club head's releasing off. Hands are underneath the main plane there. You see this plane right here? Mm-hmm. It's underneath that. That's why you were lighting it up yesterday. Okay. Posture's still good because your posture addressed. You can see now also, if you look, I'll show you something. Look at the heel of the club. Now, if you look at the heel of the club, see how it's on plane now? You can't see it because it's actually on the line. Can you see it there? Let me clear it off. So, it's not perfect, but we'll see. That's it. Well, let me do this so you guys can see it. There you go. You see it now? There. It's yeah, you just have to see it on my phone because I can't even see it there. But it's because the club head is on the line. That's how good it is. Whereas earlier, that club head was not that far over, but it was, you know what I mean? It was out that direction. So that was really good work. That was a good job. Nathan putting. Okay, this is before. So when you see, and I'll try to pull up some putting here when you see some pros, but when you see pros putt, it's a lot more bend than what they think. That the center of their spine would be right there. And it feels like what you see with Michelle Williams. It's not. It's another high school, college thing I see all the time. You'll see many guys putting on tour unless they have a long putter that vertical, not taken from the net. They bend way forward like this right here, get their eyes over, and their chest down, and they putt. They can hit it with their core and not their hands, and that's why they went to belly putters, so they could hit it with their core and not their hands, and that's why it just got banned. Because it is definitely an advantage, no doubt about it. So there's before. When we look at this and go, whoops, that's a pretty bad one. It's hard to do. So we go here, perfect on the, if you look at, the plane of the elbow, if you look at his elbow, one, it's pinched in again, it's the side here. Very good with that. I don't want to see space out like that. I want to see these arms inward like that and tuck. So when you putt, it's skin feeling like your belly putter. Or you want people putt the belly, stick it in their gut like that, and their elbows are like this, and then just go boom. It's the same thing you want with this short putter. Okay, the tees. The big thing I saw with the tees the other day that with pretty much everybody I saw set them up, they didn't have it set up right. You know, I was having to change pretty much every station. And it's hard to do it by yourself. I mean, it takes me probably 5 minutes on my own just to get mine right, because I get up there and there's no way the ball's going through that tee, or this tee's off, or whatever. So the easiest way to do it, in my opinion, is have a buddy set it up like I set it up. So you put your ball down on mark, you set your putter up, right? He puts the the one for the heel, the one for the toe, and the two in the front. Okay. And then have something. Those lines should be tight. I mean, you don't want to have your tee over here and your club can go unhit it. It needs to be an inch each way off the heel, the toe. The two tees in front, this station's pretty much set up perfect. It should be about that far in front. Okay? Somewhere in there. And then it should be maybe that wide. Just barely enough to get through there. Okay? So that's pretty much a perfect station right there. Then when you take the club back, wind's blowing. It's a really good stroke. Controlling the heel knocks it right through there. If you see here, this will be hard to show the after, but you can see his putter gets up high. See it's out above the tees. Let's see. I don't know if you still can't see it, but anyway, the putter is up above the tees right there. I think right there you can see it. So it means it's hit it and it's come up too high. A lot of them call it rise on the putter, so it's like that. So we'll try to show after. This is still not as much as I want, but you can see a big difference, right? Now you're starting to get closer to what the pros look like. You're kind of doing this with your shoulders. A lot of things pop up when you start to get good posture. So some people will go like this right here. Okay, that's why I told Gary Woodland does the same thing. The only tip I gave him this year was to take his shoulders and box your shoulders, you relax them, drop them down. So when you go in and you make a change like this, you're relaxed. Well, you're pulling them up like that right there a little bit. Okay? And that creates more tension up in your upper body. So, but I like this. None of this changed. You've got great alignment from the shaft up to the right elbow. Perfect. Really good stroke too. Pretty common to see that though. Most people, they tilt from their neck. Same thing when you do kettlebell training. You'll see people going like this, using their head instead of their hips to hinge from. Okay. This is Boone, I think before, and then we'll go to somebody else here in a little bit. So here's Boone before. Same thing. He's bending from here. You can see the muscles he's bending from. A lot of weight in the heels and so forth. Good stroke though. That's another good. If you have a good stroke, I don't think I have you after Boone. Let's see. I'm going to show you one that has a lot of bend, but the elbow's not in the right position. There you go. You see it? So this elbow is sticking too far out over here. We want that elbow in tight. You've got a lot of bend. One of the things I'd say here, the eyes are a little bit over past the ball. So that means that you're reaching from the neck instead of good posture. You bend your posture, you bend down just like that. And then your eyes is over here. You start reaching with your neck forward. You have to pass the ball. Okay? But in general, I mean, you still, I like the amount of bend you have here. It's just you still curl from the neck a little bit too much. On putting, look at Boone's here. Boone does a really good job, in my opinion, of this. Controlling what we call the heel of putter. So if you look, see how that heel of putter. So when I say that, so if you have this line right here, the heel of putter is like this. You don't let the heel of putter break and the toe break open as well. Does that make sense? You want to control the heel of that putter just like this on playing heel of putter. When you see players get off, they'll wave it. It starts waving just like their golf swing, or like that. If you control the heel of the putter, you're going to make way more putts. And he was doing a really good job of that. And who else was doing? Nathan was doing a really good job controlling the heel of the putter. Really watching it. And I think that when I say the heel is because if you control the heel this way, kind of feel like in a straight line, that controls this toe from breaking on you. And it's easier to see. When you see most people, when they look at the face, they look at the toe. They look at the toe if it's opening and closing. You want to look at the heel and control that heel. Because the face only rotates 2 degrees open to close on a pro. And so when you say that, there's an open and close, amateurs go, okay, it's like that, right? Which is about 50 when you measure it. And we have tools to measure all that stuff. I work with Sam Lab has a putting lab that measures exact degrees in to out, up and down, and all this crazy stuff. And I can tell you, what somebody thinks is 2 degrees is usually about 25. That's how far they're off. Not even close. So that's why when you feel that heel stabilize like that, when you see it, you can actually see it and see it coming through. Your putter's going to be in really good shape. He wasn't doing that very good at first yesterday, but once we put the tees down and started working on it, it did pretty good. All right. So also the putting stroke, what they found the best putters in the world, it's 1 to 2 degrees in to out. Same as your pitching, same as your golf swing, same as all that. So when you strike that line, the heel's just barely off that plane, just barely. It doesn't come back inside like people think. So it's not going like that. It's going here, and if it's a long putt, you'll see them hit it, and they might go this way again. But it's the same as pitching. They don't go like that. It's slightly in and out, and then like a mini draw. Look at, let's see, Matt, your swing the other day. Okay. Best takeaway in the room is Matt. Okay. That's long enough for a lap record on this way. So Matt does a perfect job. You can see that. Just nails. If you had 10 PGA Tour players in here right now, they go, I'd want to do that. I want that. I'm just telling you, I know. That's what I'm telling you. Every pro in the world either does take back like that or wants to. Really bad. Now from here, you set the club right pretty good, but right here, you start to move your body towards the ball this way a little bit. The shaft kind of goes away from you. This was before we really started working. You know, see a little bit laid off. Still a really good golf swing. Good, good shoulder tilt. Good action towards the ball. Drops it. That loop under is because where you see that. Let's go back up so you can see that. The loop under is because it's laid off. So he's a good, very good player, right? So he's trying to go, you know what I mean, and get that club over as fast as he can. So he drops it and tries to cover it. It's just too far behind. And so now what happens is here's that baseline plane we talked about. Can you guys see this? His club head is right here. Okay? There's your baseline right there. It's 2 in to out. So then when the club comes in, I'll get all this. Let's erase that last one. You guys, can you see the head there? The club head? Mm-hmm. Okay? Goes boom. But now watch what happens here. Here's the handle. Now remember we talked about the hand. The hand should be under that plane, right? And they're on it because he's 2 in to out. And then what happens is the club head gets off that plane. Does that make sense? And so that's 2 in to out right there with a extremely high handle. But there are good things. There's a lot of good stuff about it. It's perfect tilt with the body. They're really smothered with the hips there. It's a good swing. So, but now we're going to backtrack it and see. So for Matt, as talented as he is, if you sit here and you look at it, he hit the ball to the plane of his feet. Just hit it right where he aimed it. It's actually a perfect swing. So all that underplane stuff and all that junk we're talking about is simple as just aiming left, and the club works right down in front of him and pipes it. And you've been piping it ever since, right? Mm-hmm. That's simple. And so all that shit sounds good on what we're talking about on paper, but if you don't have enough common sense to go, your teammate looks at you and you're aimed over to another fairway and goes, I think it's not being aimed way over there to the right. It's as simple as the solution is that. You don't have to be an expert or a scientist to figure that out. If that club falls in line, he's going to start bombing it. He just has to have more space with his feet, and then the club works more down in front of him. You don't see the change of angles. Not always that easy. Most of the time, it's never that easy. So, but don't underestimate alignment, and that's why one of the things I'd like everybody to do is put your alignment rods down, especially the ones that struggle with boom, slade. You set up a workstation. That's where it's the same every day. When you go out on the tour, every one of those players has at least one alignment rod in the bag, most of the time 2. and they use them because you never can trust your eyes. You never can just step up and start hitting. You can, it's just you end up lining up incorrectly most of the time. So put your alignment right down for your feet and so forth, and you just start ripping it. Okay. And you're better off with your feet, and we'll have a conversation as well. We'll do it right now. But if your feet are open and you're right-handed player, you have 3 really good options with space to hit 3 different types of shots. So if I've got a club here and I'm swinging and I'm open like this, I'll close this. So if I'm open like this, like that, now I can come across my foot line. I have space. I can do that and hit my cut. I can come out and I can go trap it, go right down to the middle of the line right here and hit it dead straight. Or I can here and I can get it in here, which is a little bit of a draw. I have space with my body and club on all 3 angles of hitting kind of a full cut, straight ball, or right to left from there. When I go right to left, now I don't have space. See what I mean? If I want to hit left or right, I got to go around my body. My body's in my way. I have to go like this to do it. Okay. If I want to hit it straight, I got to come over. If I want to go in to out, which is easy, now my angle's 50 yards off plane. That's why you won't see hardly anybody on the tour close. The only player that plays close on the PGA Tour, and it's only with a driver, is Graham McDowell right now. It's only with a driver. It's open with every other club in his bag. That's why you see Bo Watson aim like this off the tee box. He's got space. He can draw it from there if he wants. He can just go boom, boom, and draw it, right? But he can't do this and start playing his big, it would make no sense. So he can go cut, 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 cut all day. Fred Couples, same thing, and over here, Lee Trevino. Think about how many people you'll see open. And think of how many people you can look and see if they were that far like this on tour. Could you imagine seeing somebody 75 yards right from tour and having to go, can't do it. So I always like my players to be open, not necessarily square. Open because there's more. If you can visualize it, when your feet are here, you have all this space like that. That's what golfers are trying to do. You have space. When you close up, that space starts to change like that. You have to do, if that makes sense. And so that's why I like it. For Matt, it's as simple as doing that. There's a couple other things he's working on too with his swing, just like everybody is. But that was a simple fix. Just getting this club where it needed to go. So.
You don't have one after, do you?
No, I think I do. I'll see if I can find one. Yeah, we took some the other day, right?
Yeah.
And after you played?
Yeah, it's been
Yeah, I've been dropping off on it. Let's find it. Let's see. It's pitching. There it is. Okay, so here's on the golf course. This is what, a day or 2 later, right, man?
Yeah.
So, that's a bad line, actually. I'll try to get it straight. Close enough. A little curve, There we go. So now he's changed his lines quite a bit. And if you look, now he's got space here. He hit it pretty much where he aimed it on that one particular hole, but that's a good thing. Hits it when you start hitting where you aim it. And you drove pretty good, right, that day?
Yeah.
When I watched you did good. So,
Just left to
Like you said, Byron, I'm sure you ain't there, I remember. But that's kind of where,
that's
where
right.
I was aiming at.
But it's like, again, it's got the best takeaway. Everybody in the room can learn how to take it back and set it like that. You make my job 1,000 times easier. Everybody remarked you did a good job of setting it too. You guys both. You set it like that, then all that has to happen, he already does. He's a good athlete. He turns his ass back, his right side back, and now we're good to go. He stands his arms up a little bit here, which I'm not too worried about. That's why he hit a little bit left. Gets the club head over there a little bit. But now when he works the club down, you see it's a lot more in front of him here. See that club work, how it's working in now? His hands are still on the line. That's not going to change over that by alignment. And it's not the biggest concern of mine. So you can see the ball starts exactly where he lined it up. That's a good thing. The driver, by the way, when you see this line, when I'm drawing that with Matt, and you say, well, his handle's up above it and so forth. There are some players that have the handle up above it, especially with the driver, and I'm sure you guys probably know why. You tee the ball up, and there's a little more stand up in a driver subconsciously. You're not trying to do it. I don't think anybody goes, okay, you're going to push up and try to do all this. But good players do that. And so, but with wedges and irons, and you don't want that handle up. I can assure you that. And you really don't with a driver either. It just happens a lot more. It's hard to do. And it's not something I would spend all my time on working, especially if you're getting a lot of fairways. Right. Who's next? I'm going to pull you up again, Matt. So this was the after, I think, wedge shots we were working on. I'm going to try to pull some up from pitching the other day. So that's what we're just talking about, where you get the handle off. See, the hand should be, the sweet spot's on plane, but the handle should be over in between this box. That makes sense? So it's really just bringing that handle, because you have the formation of the face is pretty good, so it's maybe a little bit shut more than what I like, but that's the grip. That's why I want a weak grip. Everything in wedge play, you're trying to deaden everything. You want weak grip, open face, open stance, hitting it off the toe sometimes if you need. Everything to deaden the shot. That's what pitching is all about. Okay? Spin and the trajectory. So kind of do a pretty good job of getting it. It gets a little bit underplane here because it is waving her a little bit, so the club's a little underplane. Good job controlling the face on that one though. Hold it a little bit. You see how the ball's over here, right? And then the target's right here. By the time that gets done, it's maybe 10 yards left of the target. Okay, but that was again mainly because the club went this way a little bit too much. We want that handle to come in, and his shaft plane is perfect, just like we saw in his golf swing. So if hands go just like his golf swing, but if you're here and you went boom like that, the hands are on plane, the shaft's on plane, then you can work underneath it. Simple as that. It's tricky because when we get open, when you're here to hit an open ball, you think, if I just need to cut it, right? I mean, we all do. I mean, everybody, and you'll see that amateurs, that's why all of us are way more off plane than pros are. They know that the line's still here. So they're going here in this zone and working this way, where amateurs would work typically way too far outside to in, more this way, and they can pull the ball too much. All right. Who's this? Maybe Mark? Mark, right?
Yes.
Good stance. I like how open you are here. Okay, I don't know.
He's the only one that wears that shirt.
Okay. So we'll see what Mark does here. Mark was pitching pretty good the other day. Good. So the hands are on plane. The club's going to set up on plane. And you can see it's pretty good. Can't see the face. I'm going to get that in there. I'm sure it's okay. Stays in between. Good job. Now the only thing we would the blade's it's pretty good, but the handle's a little bit. This would be a face-on view. You really need to be a little more here. You're a little bit too back with the handle, which will control the trajectory. So if everything's a perfect world and everybody swings the club, which they will in the next couple of weeks on playing pitching, there's the way you control the trajectory is hands forward low, just as simple as hitting it under a tree, Hands release the angle out from mid, sustain it, and then a little bit of loft. You flip it a little bit here and then sustain it, and you get the loft shot. Ideally, I want you to be able to, on your downswing, be able to hit 3 shots. If you took it back, in the middle of the backswing, I could say low, and you could do it. Or I could say high on the same backswing. That makes sense, and be able to do it. If you're limited, you would not be able to do that. So if you took the club back and you were playing a low ball with your normal swing, and all of a sudden I said high, you'd be like, oh, if you have a shut face. Or if you're outside the plane. Or if I said it to Matt, or he could have probably done it because he had the face wide open enough. But if I said to push it right, at the last second, you'd be like, I can't. Hand was too far over. So you should be able to do all those things. I should be able to say, right, boom, you hit it, low, mid. Ideally, if you have the club in good position on pitching, you can hit all those shots when I call it out. Really good golf swing, though. That's pretty much model. You can see there's another one example of how the hand's way over here, but not when you hit the ball. You hit the ball right on the button. And you'll see a lot of this on TV where those hands are way over their left. And I thought, if you asked me this 10 years ago, even when I